Comments. Come on, live stream. Show me the live stream. Show me the live stream. There it is. Oh my God, we're in. We're in. Look at that. We are in the live stream. Oh, Tom's entered the chat. Tom has entered the chat. Dinner at 9. I'll be there. I will be there. So, what up? What up? Welcome, guys, to our weekly live stream where we answer your airsoft and non-airsoft related questions for the next hour. So, if you have any questions about toy guns, let us know. What's on today's agenda? Today's agenda is survive, current objective. But in all seriousness, the current agenda is to answer your guys' questions and, give you a entertaining hour live stream. And I voted for you as best HPA tech company.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Yeah, we're going to be doing a post about that. So if you guys didn't know, we are
Ram Guy Kev Awards.
Yes, thank you. Year 2.
Mm-hmm.
Who would ever thought? So thank you guys for the support. And now, doing it again. We're doing it again. Dem kettle chips, though. What are those? Oh yeah, those ones are ridiculous. Those ones are so good.
They're like the best chips ever.
I agree. There's a lot that I've never had a better kettle chip.
Hands down, Ms. Vicky's is
okay.
best chip.
Hot take: chips in small bags taste better than chips in big bags. I don't know what it is. I just think they taste better out that bag than when they're in a big bag.
I don't know about that one.
Okay.
I think we need to do like we did the root beer test. We need to do a chip test.
I just feel like they are so much better out of the little bag. See, facts. I got facts. It's like it might be a placebo effect, but I don't care because they taste better. I think they do.
I just like these chips.
I agree.
I'm starving, guys. I'm sorry.
So, y'all need to try Grippos. Localish to me barbecue chips brand are fire. Well, where's local to you so I can get some? Let me answer a few questions here.
Yep.
Well, hello there, studs.
Hello there.
Welcome for always being here. We appreciate your presence. Favorite AK variant, SVD included. I'd have to say the 105 just because it's such a versatile rifle. Personally, the AK-105, it can do anything.
I guess VSS doesn't count because that's not in the AK family.
I mean, he said SVD included.
VSS.
And probably said
I love the VSS.
I think the AS-Val and the VSS are one of the coolest technologies when it comes to like in the AK world, in that realm of weaponry.
There's not a lot going on there, but in those two in particular, there's a lot going on.
The SVD is dope too, and the SVU. I like the SVU. PKM is best AK variant. I mean, valid.
I mean, technically speaking, yes.
AEG or HPA in AK. I do AEGs on all mine, except the GHK, which is that one up there. I think it's for personal needs.
It depends on what variant it is. If I'm doing it to try and reach out and touch somebody, I'm HPAing it 100% all the time, every day. If I'm doing a full auto PKM, if we're saying that's an AK variant, HPA. Everything else, I would probably AEG because a lot of times when I'm running an AK, I'm doing it at an MSW, which is more for like MSW is not fully role play stuff, but it is like kit role play, and like for the kit to look probably the best, I would say having HPA line to it is not the best idea. But
Probably not, but I mean, at the end of the day, if it's a functioning airsoft gun for you, it's good.
I just get a lot more performance out of HPA in general than I do out of AEGs.
I think AEGs are just they're just so nice to be able to grab and go. That's why I like them.
Yeah,
And I don't like to deal with air stocks. I think they're kind of a pain in the butt.
if it's a 33 gram, I don't mind.
Yeah. So how'd y'all enjoy Shally? My platoon was in the woods 90% of the time. I wasn't there, so I can't.
Yeah, the building we slept in was great. No, Shally was awesome. I haven't played an MSW in a few months. We've been to a few. We try and get people from the shop that like play MSWs to go to the MSWs, because it honestly is a very different feel when you're playing and vending than if you're just going and vending and then leaving. Because we definitely really like playing MSWs here at the shop.
Mm-hmm.
Shally was interesting for me because we were attached with command a lot of times. If you guys were on the Ross Force side, we were like the guys in leafy suits. If you guys were in the hospital waving at us, cheering us on to try and bring some guy some fuses because we were bored. There's always that Saturday lull. Then kudos to you guys for cheering us on to try and bring some rando guy fuses. I love MSWs for the sheer like what happens out of boredom. We're just gonna go rush a place and know we're gonna die and not care. Like that was probably a highlight for me. But then it was pretty intense MSW on other sides of the field too. I heard a lot of different conflicts happening with some snake hunters and some snake people, and then a lot of not gaining ground on that hospital whatsoever. If you were there, you know what I'm talking about. That hospital sucked and also was awesome for NATO. But no, it was honestly a great event. I had a great time, had a fun time with the guys. And it was only 6 hours away, so it was really nice for us because it was really easy for us to get to and from. So I had a great time. I think a lot of the guys that went had a great time.
What does MSW mean? Milsom West. It's an event.
Yeah, sorry, Milsom West.
There was a question. Figured what we talked about would make more sense if I just blurted that.
Yeah. So. Shally Assault was at Mutsy or Scattertuck Urban Training Center. If you guys haven't been there yet, it's a very interesting AO, especially if we're trying to play airsoft at. It's cool in certain parts. It's big and open in other parts, but it's definitely a place I would recommend you go and play at if you get a chance. I think there were 5 events held there this season.
A lot.
Don't know if there's going to be one more. There might be one more, but next year they're going to be doing more events, as far as I'm aware. So if you haven't gone this year, definitely go. It's one of the cool ones to get to see, and it was closed off for a few years from any airsoft for a while. So I would try and get there if you can.
Yeah. Going back to the chips real quick. Nope, it's true because there's more air in the big bags, so they're less fresh.
Okay, I could see that.
So
you could be right about that. I just don't know if I noticed enough of a taste difference on the first opening of the bag. There's definitely stale chips in a big bag. I finish a bag every time. I guess maybe that's it. Maybe it's like there's no chance of them getting stale because I finish the bag every time, if it's a small bag.
Valid. Thoughts on KWA? KWA is a good brand. Been in the game for a hot minute. They've definitely come out with some new stuff this year.
Yeah.
And I think that honestly, there's not a lot you can go wrong with.
KWA is a very interesting brand. The history of KWA is proprietary. So you can't like upgrade easily with them. Nowadays, I think they've gotten a lot better with being third-party compatible. They literally made some of their new generation of gearboxes specifically designed around using a gate titan or not. But they still have some proprietariness, which is good for different feature sets that they include, like Very, very durable gearbox because they put a ton more reinforcements around the gears, a ton more reinforcements around different areas of the gearbox. Downside of that is when you're trying to upgrade, sometimes there's still that parts compatibility issues that you run into with the nozzles, with the hop up, with a bunch of different areas. But there are ways around it, which I honestly, the very little you have to do to get around it nowadays doesn't make it a headache anymore for me. So I think KWA is a really good brand. I think they have some really high quality stuff.
Can't go wrong.
Yeah.
Favorite comic book superhero? Iron Man or Spider-Man for me? Probably Iron Man.
The Flash for me. Flash, Iron Man, one of those two.
Iron
Spider-Man's
Man,
great. Spider-Man's awesome. Batman's awesome.
I love Spider-Man.
I love Flash.
Flash is cool. Specna has some nice ones. I forget what we were referring to. Maybe chips? No, I'm just kidding.
Specna make chips. Specna make chips for SHOT Show and give them out.
Very funny. Just like amped.
Charlie, get on this now.
What if we produced a food? What food would we make? Like, what does our what would people perceive us to make?
Hot dogs.
Why hot dogs?
Because we eat glizzies all the time.
Speak for yourself. That's
Pocket burgers.
Pocket burgers.
No.
Yeah,
No.
we manufacture pocket burgers. They're
No.
pre-pocketed burgers.
No.
You get a pocket with the burger. Anyway,
You're just doing this to piss me off.
you're right. You guys helped me with my SLP rig working. Thank you. You're very welcome.
Cool, man.
Glad we could be of assistance. HPA versus AEG is best boiled down to field, AO game / event, MSW, or Gun Gamers Pro. HPA. Sorry, then there's another one. HPA versus AEG is best boiled down to field, AO, and game. Event, if air availability is a concern, AEG all day. Smaller scale events / milsims where air is readily available and you're not rocking, HPA. Valid point. HPA is great from performance, but filling tanks is a nightmare if it's unavailable.
Look, if you're trying to do Milsim West the right way, okay? If you're trying to do Milsim West the right way,
This is going to be a wild
you
statement.
ruck in the pump for your air tank.
It is not the worst idea in the world. I was expecting something a lot worse.
I brought it. So for me personally, I ran 4 26 cubic tanks. I had 2 in my pack, and I got down to about 1,000 psi in both of those tanks. I swapped them out just to be safe to my other 2 that had 3,000 in them, and I was fine. I was running a DMR. I was actually shooting a lot this game. I actually ran out of ammo at an MSW, which generally doesn't happen. And I still was able to get through it with 4 tanks, a mechanical mancraft system, which is not an air hog, but not very efficient as far as air goes.
4 tanks?
Yeah, 4 26s. Yeah,
That's crazy.
426 tanks. It's like 190 cubic.
You shoot too much.
4 tanks. Dude, I was burning through ammo.
That's wild.
It was crazy.
That's wild. Would you rather run barefoot across the room with BBs or Legos?
BBs all day. BBs all day. BBs all day.
Yeah, Legos are nasty, bro.
Legos are so sharp.
But BBs would be pretty rough. I've definitely. All right, how about would you rather walk across a room full of BBs on your knees?
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Would you rather like kneel crawl across a room with BBs with no knee pads, or walk / run across a Lego room?
I think I'd do the Legos at that point, bro. I mean, knees on the B. Oh my god! I mean, that would like cripple you.
That's so
Now,
hard.
Here's the counter though. If the BBs were so perfectly laid across the room that there wasn't any deviation in height, like it's just perfectly flat.
What if you just laid Legos across that way too?
Well, then they both wouldn't be bad.
I would actually probably take the Lego room still over the BBs because the BBs could roll on me, but if it's the Legos, they're all
that Lego
together.
flips on its side, bro. Oh man.
Nope.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm cool. I'm good on that one. That's a miserable question. But I'd probably still pick BBs. BBs on feet, Lego on knees.
No.
No. I'm saying like if it was BBs on.
Like if you're running across a room and it's your feet, you want BBs.
No, if I'm running across. The question was like. Sorry, I'm trying to think of how I worded it. It's like if I had to be on my knees with BBs or feet with Legos, I'd be feet with Legos.
I would be feet with Legos.
Yeah.
I would be feet with Legos.
Versus knees would be.
Yes.
Sorry, I
100%.
rambled there.
All
My
day.
brain totally just skipped over.
Da-da-da.
It just jumped over itself at that point. Next year, I heard Muscatuck is on the menu for at least one large event organizer.
Yes.
That is cool. Tight bore or wide bore barrel for a Tippmann HPA.
Wide bore.
All right, there it is.
Wide bore all day, and not the Omega. If you're talking about like the actual like recoil one, wide bore all day, and then get a TDC in there. That's good. And
Top dead center hop up.
yes, that's installed on. There's a bunch of guys who make an aftermarket one for the Gen 1, 2 versions, and then there's an actual like newer generation that did come with the TDC. I don't like it as much as some of the aftermarkets, but it does still work a lot better than the original hop-up design, which basically did nothing, and was not consistent at all. But yeah, wide bore all day on that. And also do the rub screw mod to the nozzle area, if you know what I'm talking about. If not, go into the Tippmann owners group. It's a big thing to do because it actually helps with consistency, which the wide bore also helps with as well.
There you go. And then can't wait for Scorched this weekend. Is that where I'm going?
Yeah.
That's where I will be. Sorry, the names of the events are, I always forget. I will be there.
Locked in.
Locked in. I will be there. Leaving Friday. And then what's your thoughts on D-Hop barrels?
I can take it or leave them. I mean, honestly, the D-Hop barrels, I've seen them. They do provide some added performance, I would say. So they aren't not worth it, but it's moderately better than a professionally installed R-Hop system is what I would say. I think they're good. I think they, like I said, there's some definite advantages to them over a regular R-Hop, but in reality, I don't think it's necessary to just go that route versus a professionally installed R-Hop. Especially if you're not running heavyweights, you need to be running heavyweights when you're starting to talk about these hop-up systems, or you're not going to get any of the benefits out of them.
Heavyweights do reap all the benefits.
I love this track.
And these mixes are cool too. Amp Airsoft would definitely make barbecue. That's our food too.
I'm definitely not trying to get into making barbecue at my house.
You're weird.
Dude, I really like it.
You just get into the old people things to just increase your maturity level. It's like a side quest. Like, I'm Tom. I smoke cigars, drink whiskey, and now I barbecue. It's like, oh my goodness, the Nike Monarchs are going to be coming out in a little bit.
I'm getting a minivan too.
Oh God. If I have to deal with a little Tom running around,
dude, I want pissed off. Dude, I want
handle one of you.
I want the old Volkswagen bus.
Who doesn't want an old Volkswagen bus?
No, to complete my old manness.
You're crazy. You're crazy. Yeah, they're cool though. I
love those things.
Oh, I know. My mother loves them too. Let's see. You all going to SHOT Show? Question mark.
Yeah.
If so, can you ask PTS where are our Evo mags? Jason, where are the mags at?
Jason,
where are the mags at? STL Blackjack on Instagram. Send him a DM. Ask him. Tell him I sent you.
Yeah. Tell him Amp said, to
where
you.
are our mags?
So, yeah, we can ask Phil in person.
Yeah, but we can.
We were just having a meeting about SHOT Show today, so that's kind of funny. You guys are asking about
it. ATS says hashtag the Airsoft Dad. Jean shorts? Question mark. Great Lake says Tom needs some jean shorts and a cell phone holster. I am amazed he doesn't have a cell phone holster. I mean, in all seriousness, he's got that wallet that's like this thick that like sticks out of his jeans, and he's got this bulge on his thigh from his giant wallet. It's crazy. Yeah, the phone holster and the Bluetooth earpiece, I think, would probably just tie it all together.
That was Kurt for the longest time.
I know. Kurt's signature was the Bluetooth.
Bluetooth earpiece that he would just
now
wear
it's just
around.
This. Now it's like,
I'm getting a call.
hang on, one
My
moment.
communicator is going off.
I can see someone out in the woods jackrabbiting with a bike pump to fill their tank.
Oh, 100%.
Wait a minute, and then just like panicking.
No, what you would do is like if you're on like any of the like teams that go and they have probies, they're like Proby, start pumping.
I mean, dude, you can fill a 13 pretty quick.
Oh yeah.
So it's like
Yeah.
realistically, I'd rather probably lug 2 13s around and then a pump instead of like a 13 and like a 90. Just strap the pump to the outside of the ruck, and then you're back at fob, or not fob, but you're back at like your little,
PV or whatever.
and you just kind of, all right, we're good.
It would turn into a meme too, because other people would just jump in and be like, "Yeah, sure, man, fill my tank."
Well, I'd be like, no, if you want to fill your tank, you can use the pump.
Yeah.
I ain't doing it. I've got years of practice for that tank hand pump, if you know what I'm saying. I get what you're saying. Must have worked at a bicycle shop or something.
Definitely just a bicycle tech.
Yeah.
Props to bicycle techs around the world.
What a weird profession. What a niche profession. Not weird. It's actually pretty dope. Where are we at? I need the Ace Tech M870 Tracer. It's sold out. Sold out.
Those are hard to get.
When will it be back?
Not a clue. I know that when they come in,
they're like in and out, man. Sign up for restock notification on the website so you can be like the first person to know when they do come in.
We are doing a ton of ordering right now in preparation for Black Friday and Christmas. So stuff that hasn't been in lately is probably coming in the next few weeks. So keep an eye out on that, especially if you're trying to get Black Friday stuff, because it's gonna go very fast.
Yes. Dorcor said we started running D-hops for almost a year now, and they perform to our standards. Yeah. So I've heard good things. I've never used one personally.
I've tested a few barrels with a D-hop. I'm pretty impressed with them, but again, I'm not impressed to the point where I wouldn't tell somebody to just get a regular R-hop if a D-hop is out of stock somewhere. It was kind of my point earlier.
LCT, PP19, or VFC MP5. Had this debate with a friend.
It really depends on the kit you're going for.
Well, we're not talking about the kit because we're talking about just the gun itself.
LCT PP19 versus an MP5.
I'm gonna be real.
MP5. Immediately.
No, I think they are both. They're. It's like saying M4 or AK.
Yeah. Okay. I'll agree. It's literally what it's like.
The only reason I'll actually, I'm gonna say PP19. You can upgrade the hop up. That is one edge that you have, and the version 3 hop up is superior to the version 2 hop up.
That uses a version 3 style hop up.
No, it does not.
It has a sliding lever.
But I don't think it. I don't think it depresses like a version 3 though.
It does.
I don't believe that.
It does. It's not rotary. It's literally a sliding lever. It is designed off of a version 3.
Well, you can do an aftermarket one in an AK then.
Okay, so my point to that.
So you
go.
No, you go. All right. I can upgrade every component internally on this gun.
Yeah.
Version 2 gearbox.
Yeah.
I can upgrade every component internally on the version 3 gearbox.
Yeah.
I can do every component to this barrel setup except the hop-up unit.
Yeah.
And I can do every single component on the PP19. So in that just factor, it just comes down to the limitation to this the PP19 does not have.
I think the MP5 is more ergonomically better because of the way you can attach things to it. That I like it better than the PP19.
You can put a Zeneca, just like this has an aftermarket handguard. If we're comparing them stock, they're the same. This doesn't even have a rail up top.
I like it. I like the MP5 better. I like the feel of the MP5 better than the 19.
Well, then if we're even going further, I raise you one more. The stock configuration of an MP5 needs a rail mount to put an optic on, where the PP19 comes with a rail dust cover.
Oh, does it?
Yes.
I thought the PP19 originally was that just dog crap dust cover.
It's hinged.
It's hinged, but I didn't think it came with a thick rail on it.
Yeah. I have 2 of them. I'm just telling you.
I don't care that you have an MP5 that you own that's in your hand either. No, I like the MP5, but I love the PP19. I think it's one of the best guns you could use in Airsoft right now, to be quite frank.
I love the MP5.
I just like the MP5 ergonomics far better than the PP19.
I think they can be identical.
No, this is the stock. I love the full stock of an MP5K. Not an MP5K, the MP5A4.
And put a AK-105 stock on a PP19. Full stock.
No, that's not what I mean. I like the ergonomics of that MP5 stock better.
I don't know. I think at the end of the day, those are like they are becoming such a close.
Oh, they are. They're an M4 versus an AK.
But it just boils down to what can you do to them. And at this,
I think you could do more to the MP5.
No, I'm saying internally.
Oh,
It shoots better. I think at the end of the day, the PP19 will always outshoot an MP5.
No.
Yeah, 100%.
No.
Yeah.
No. It will not always outshoot an MP5.
Yes, it will.
No, it will not. Okay. No, it will not.
How and what scenario would this gun outshoot the PP19?
I don't think they'll outshoot each other, period. I think they will literally, you can get them to perform the exact same performance. I don't think it'll outshoot it. That's where I disagree. I don't think it'll outshoot it. I don't think it will.
I believe if we're coming down to simply based off of part availability and what you can do to these guns, you're limited.
I'm going to give you with part of availability with the hop up in particular.
That's the only thing. That is the only thing driving. It's like we're splitting hairs here.
Yeah,
I hope that's like understood. We're not saying one is here and one's here. We're talking like if we had to decide, my reason for deciding is there is a part in this gun
that is
I cannot upgrade.
Well, yeah, there's no third party upgrade, which getting proprietary parts from a manufacturer sometimes. Now it is Umarex and it is VFC, which is very, very good with getting us proprietary parts. They're one of the best companies.
Yeah, you could replace it with OEM if you needed to.
But here's my thing. The OEM hop-up in that is one of my favorite hop-ups.
It's very good. I agree.
I wouldn't want to upgrade that hop-up.
If there's something better, you would.
Okay, let's talk about hop-ups. This is going to be a hot topic.
Oh, also, Great Lakes did bring up a decent point. Mag availability.
Absolutely. That's a good point. Mag availability on the MP5 is very good.
It's higher. Yeah. But we did have a slum there for a while.
We did.
Where we couldn't even get MP5 mag.
Well, here's what I want, Jason. What? When's the PTS MP5 mag coming out?
Here's a hot take. I don't think it's necessary.
That's fair, but I think the PTS internals, like the EPM internals, I don't know why they wouldn't just make an EPM version of every single mag. They already have a G36. They already have an ARP9.
But let's look at that too, because like the G36 needed that void filled.
Absolutely.
The G36 mags sucked.
No, you had to do an M4 conversion.
Yeah, they're terrible. Yeah. So they filled that huge void.
Yeah.
Let's look at the ARPs. I mean, G&G was the only company making magazines for that gun.
Classic Army ones, but both of them were about the same performance.
Yeah, so, they were pretty all right. No knock to either of those companies. But these mags are flawless. I've never had a SEMA or even a Umarex MP5 mag not feed.
That's fair.
So there's no market for them. And they're metal, which is what the gun came with.
Yeah, but they make MP5 mags that are like the clear window.
Like I don't like those.
Oh, I love them. I love how they look. I love how they look.
I think the straight metals are my favorite, the 10 mil.
I do like the straight metal ones. Mm-hmm. I like those a lot. Let's talk about hop-ups. Right, this is going to be a hot take.
All right.
Hop-up units in general, this is my opinion from just doing upgrades, doing different builds, and he's very technically background as well.
As little as you believe it.
Yes, as little as everybody would believe. This man has tech experience.
I built this gun and this one.
But hop-ups in particular, I would say, unless there is a functional problem with the stock hop-up, like it's not a rotary style, or it's not a TDC, or it's not, something that is objectively a better way of putting downforce on a BB. Okay. I would say nowadays, the most guns, you don't really need to upgrade the hop-up unless you're going for a high rate of fire build. You need to upgrade the bucking, the nub, and the barrel far more than you need to upgrade the actual hop-up itself.
I'll agree. The bucking and nub are the most important upgrades you can do in an airsoft gun. I mean, these brass barrels that come in LCTs and VFCs, a quick polish.
Absolutely.
They're fantastic.
Yeah.
LCT hop-up units are garbage out of the box.
That's no.
They're just not. They're not good.
Yeah.
I mean, we've all seen the videos, we've all seen the reviews. I love LCT to death. It's just
Yeah, I don't think you do. You own an AK that isn't LCT other than like GHK, which
one SEMA, but it's stock. The SEMA, but
never,
the SEMA's
never been touched.
The SEMA,
zombie gun.
It's not a zombie gun. It's stock.
No, it never dies.
Oh
like,
yeah,
it
yeah.
Never dies.
Well, zombies have to die once to be brought back to life.
Did it die once?
Nope.
No, it didn't. No. Nope.
Still running a Tamiya.
All right, the Immortal AK.
It's immortal. Yeah, it's like
the Immortal AK.
But either way,
it's gonna die.
I think it comes down to what are we gaining from switching out the hop-up units for the AK specifically? Like the LCTs are notorious for backing off.
Yeah,
there's not enough tension. Yeah. So the biggest gain there is the metal Lonex specifically, which is what I like to use.
Yes.
They do not back off. The other thing I really like is the way that AK hop-up units mount into the barrel. I'll call it the outer barrel.
Yeah.
And mounts into the gearbox. It centers itself.
Yeah.
I think the Lonex hop-up units have more of a tight tolerance inside the gearbox shell, allowing for less play and more consistency shot to shot. Now, that's just something I've thought about and felt is functional for me. But comparing it to this hop-up, yeah, there's really no reason to upgrade it.
Yeah.
But
well, and my point is
we'll use that as a.
I'm not talking different guns hop-ups. I'm not talking like M4 to AK hop-up. I'm talking like if I have a stock, let's take the Scorpion. That's a really good one because there are a lot of third-party options for the Scorpion, and there's the stock hop-up. I don't like the stock hop-up of the Scorpion. I think it backs off in the same way that an LCT does. I don't think it is reliable, and honestly, it breaks very easily because of how plastic it is when you're trying to turn it to the point where it actually is providing enough hop to the BB. But you go and you change it out for one of the TDC style Maxes or ASG's metal upgraded one, all of those ones. That is a time where I go, no, you definitely do need to upgrade the hop-up unit. But this in particular, BFCs in particular, Crytek M4s in particular, SEMA AKs honestly have a very good hop-up, I would say.
Arcturus has the rotary style now.
Arcturus now has like a TDC style rotary for AKs. Those, I don't feel like you need to unless you are doing a high rate of fire build, because then you need very, very good tolerances, high amounts of polish, whether that's on plastic or metal, to have it feed as smoothly as possible to keep up with the rate of fire you're trying to have it do.
Well, I would say that's a fantastic question, and probably one of our most civil debates in a long time.
Yeah, actually, that was great.
So thank you for that. Thoughts on one-piece cylinder and cylinder head combo? So I'm assuming that's the tap-it plateless, like nozzle thing.
It's really interesting.
So
yeah,
Sistema's been doing it for years.
That was what I was going to say. There's companies who have it perfected, right?
Yeah.
Sistema is being one of them. The new MDRX has a really good version of it. But then there's some other ones that are more third party that don't feed properly. They don't work as well as they're intended to work.
Right. I think at least for me, like looking at Sistemas in the cylinders, they're in a cylinder.
Yeah.
So trying to work that technology into a standard version 2 gearbox doesn't seem like it's going to fly as well.
Which is the same with this. If you look at the gearbox of the MDRX, the top of it is a cylinder that is wider than the base of it. That's this like rectangular shape, and it's the same thing. Now, for me, from like the function standpoint, I actually feel like the cylinder head built into the cylinder, not using a tappet plate. I actually would prefer if it was a little bit more developed consistently in other guns. Like, I feel like if we could put that into a version 2, it would be a really big upgrade to the design of version 2 gearbox, version 3 gearbox, both of them. I don't like tappet plates because there's another thing to break in the gun. There's a lot of stress on that piece of plastic over all the cycles that it goes through. And it simplifies the gearbox and causes basically less breakage if it works properly. If it doesn't work properly, then it's a downside.
The theory is great. The
Yeah.
less parts there are to break, the more reliable.
Yeah.
But tappet plates have proven to be quite reliable.
Yeah.
I couldn't tell you the last time I broke a tappet plate.
I've broken a lot.
I just don't see them break. I don't know if it's because I'm just building LCTs and maybe they just have decent tappet plates. I don't know, but I don't see them break.
There's a lot of times where I'm building M4s. When I do a lot of AG builds, I specifically go for like a garter tappet plate because of the plastic they use is a lot more resilient over time. I've just noticed that with garter, that specific brand. I've always used those. And I know there's a few brands that people stick by specifically with plastic parts in a gearbox because there's a higher likelihood of breaking. Pistons are number one for that. Pistons break all the time,
right?
Because they're plastic, because they're taking a lot of stress.
So, but yeah, I don't think it's there yet. I don't think it's ready to be introduced to version 2 gearboxes. I think it needs more of a cylinder-esque build to function as theoretically as it's intended.
Yeah, the best ones I've seen are the Sistema and the MDRX is a more modernized version of it, and I think it works really, really well.
So I don't think it's ready yet, personally. We also have a lot of questions, so I'm going to try to...
Sorry, yeah, we've been rambling.
It's been a good one. We need a good game with springers only and max BB weight to 12 grams and call it op lightweight.
Oh, that's hilarious. Yeah, we need to do that. But if you can find 12.
12's on Amazon.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
We're good. Ultrasonic coming back. I've been meaning to ask you guys, what's the benefit/detriment to a light spring and a fusion engine? Follow-up, do you need to change both springs, or can you combine light and heavy? The springs on the nozzle, I'm pretty sure, to pop it.
No, I know it's on the nozzle.
I don't know if fusion engines are wrong.
So how do I say this? So think of it this way: the heavier the spring, the faster the nozzle is going to close. So in theory, the heavier spring actually helps with air efficiency from trying to overcome the force of the air pressure that is in the system, which it then fights to close the nozzle back up. So a lighter spring can decrease air efficiency, but also you can get, in theory, more air volume out of it, like when you're talking about max ranges. But in general, why you would want a heavy spring is because it's going to increase air efficiency because it closes it up faster to when you want it to close up. That is why you would do a heavy spring over a light spring. Generally, the light spring is in there to just have the system operate under most conditions. Like the universal is to use a lighter spring. But in reality, using a heavier spring is more efficient in theory. Like if we're talking about theory and stuff. If you're putting this in an LMG, use a heavy spring, is what I would say.
I've been curious for a while. Do y'all consider getting an EU warehouse like E53? Probably
not at the moment. So for us right now, we have a lot of EU partners we work with. We have a lot of dealers in the EU, Super 5s, off the top of my head, a few other guys in the EU that are awesome people to work with. We don't really have a reason to set that up. People like EVIC and Red Wolf Airsoft, two of the people that come to mind are because they are also not just giant dealers, like giant retailers. They are a giant distribution network for smaller dealers. We are a weird position. We kind of are a little bit of a bigger company in the industry, but we are not anywhere near the distribution level of Evike and Red Wolf as far as like what we get in and then distribute to other dealers. We just are not anywhere near that size. So there's not any reason for us to do it right now from a financially viable. The reason it would be like advantageous for us is if it's like our cost is now so much because we're sending so much product overseas. Like I'm talking pallets upon pallets upon pallets of product is now just leaving the East Coast warehouse we now have and now going across the pond to the EU. That our shipping expenses are so much greater that it's just better for us to pay the money to have a distribution center there. The expenses would have to outweigh, basically, is what I'm getting at.
So probably not anytime soon.
Yeah.
Are there any good hop-ups that feed from the top?
Interesting question. So a lot of
Closest thing would be a 249
uh,
in my eyes.
well, 249 feeds from the side.
I'm saying it's the closest.
The stoner is one that feeds from the top.
Oh yeah, you're right. Stoner
The stoner feeds from the top, but a lot of times, a lot of people are now switching the stoner hop-ups out for a max hop if you get the adapter kits that a lot of different companies sell for an M4 hop-up to go in there, because the stoner hop-up's cool, but it inherently has some problems because it feeds from the top.
Yeah.
So you have to overcome gravity. It has this weird bend for the BBs to then go around, and then it can bind up and cause a lot of problems. Whereas just feeding straight up in a straight line is a lot easier for feeding. So there aren't a lot for that reason.
And at the end of the day, as long as the pressure on the BB from the hop-up is coming straight down, it doesn't matter which way the BBs feed into the hop-up.
Yeah.
There's no benefit to a top feeding hop-up unit.
No, there's really not a lot. I mean, like, you see it in paintball because you don't want to break the paintballs in the hop-up, in the hopper, to come down. You use gravity to make it easier, and so there's not a lot of push pressure on the paintball that could burst in the magazine. Whereas with Airsoft, we don't care about it bursting because it's a hard plastic, and so putting pressure on it to increase reliability in feeding is actually something we do on purpose.
So, yeah. What's up, guys? What's up? Welcome
on,
to live. Thank you. And B5 mags, 10 mil mags are aesthetically the best. Agreed. Well, I got to head back to work. Have a great day. You're probably already gone, but thank you for stopping in as always. Are there any benefits from going from a plastic to CNC hop-up unit and arm?
That's an interesting. That's a loaded question.
Well, we spent 20 minutes on hop-ups, so
I'll give it a quick,
give it a quick summary.
So when you think about a hop-up itself, right? And factors to take in is, how does it apply pressure? If it's a plastic unit that's a really hard plastic, or really not, like, it's not going to flex on you and cause the pressure to not be consistent on the BB, I would almost argue sometimes that a plastic unit is better than a CNC unit because there's less friction on the BB moving through a plastic unit than there is on some metal units, depending on how they're machined and anodized. Some of that anodization creates a tackiness to it that creates a little bit more resistance for the BB to flow through. So in some cases, depending on what it is and depending on the plastics that are used, sometimes a plastic hop-up actually can be better than some CNC ones, depending on what you're comparing against.
Right. So I think it's just kind of trial and error too. If you've done the barrel bucking nub and you have a stock plastic unit and you're like, I wonder if I'll benefit from it. You really just have to try it.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, there's so many variables with each gun that
there's a lot of times where people have a Crytek or a VFC, specifically those ones. Those are really sturdy plastics. They can break a lot more with abuse because they're plastic and not metal, but metal can also bend. So you have different things. They damage in different ways too.
Yeah. But give it a shot, see what happens.
Yeah.
LCT barrels are solid and performing. Absolutely. Hey, guys, ended up getting an L3 PVS 14 and a maul. Went my own route on the IR. Hell yeah, brother. Welcome to
debt.
Debt, or if you're just big balling, bro.
Or you're just, you're managing your money right. Good on you.
Or you've saved up, dude. I mean, you've been saving for a couple years. That must feel good.
Yeah.
I'm glad. What's the next best AK hop-up if combat unions are the best? Combat unions best hop-up.
I don't think it's best hop-up.
Combat union is absolutely the best opinion, and I wish the U.S. manufacturers would pick them up to avoid importing. Yeah, combat unions are definitely the best tolerances ever made of a hop-up unit. I think the machining and the quality of combat unions is mind-boggling, and their top dead center pressure is fantastic. I'm not going to say they're the best, and I'm not going to say they're not the best, because combat unions are one of those things where, in my experiences, they can be a little finicky with their tight tolerances. But once you overcome the tight tolerances, they will absolutely outperform any other hop-up unit. I have the best luck, and in my opinion, the best time with the Lonex hop-ups, because they work every single time. Every time you put them in a gun, they can hop any weight BB that you want. My 74M Lonex hop-up unit, 4/8. Halfway on. It works fine. It does exactly what it needs to do.
That's the best hop-up unit. Or the retro one is also up there, I would say.
No.
Oh, okay.
No,
Okay.
no retro V3s.
Okay.
No bueno.
Not
a fan.
My reason for saying the Combat Union is not the best hop-up unit.
Oh boy,
on the
here we
market is
go.
because of the nozzle that you have to install to make them work.
That is so they're not the best when it comes to
Drop in.
ease of work, but they do have that little bit of cutting edge.
They have the best performance
With that.
when you want to take the time to install them. But if you're trying to get a quick upgrade done and not have to go into the gearbox to do that, which most of the time a barrel build is you're just trying to redo the barrel, you're not trying to redo the entire gun. The fact that you have to install a proprietary nozzle takes it down a notch for me from the quote best top-up unit. I would say it's probably the second best behind the Lonex.
In the regard of like, I can just see if this is going to help me. Because, I mean, let's be honest, like, that, I do this anyway, so I can't even really complain about it. But for your, like, average airsofter who's like, I want to upgrade my AK, and it's like, I want to use this top-up unit, it's the best. And then it's like, well, I have to open my gearbox. And it's like, okay, well, I'm in here. And then do I, like, now do a bunch of other upgrades while I'm here?
Yeah.
And the next thing you know, this hop-up non-directly has costed me hundreds of dollars.
Yeah.
Because it's like I don't want to.
Well,
open
I'm going
this.
inside the gearbox. I might as well.
And that's not a fault to the hop-up unit.
No, the design is great.
It's just something to take into consideration when considering it. If Max, cough, Max, if Max picked up the Combat Union, it would be dope. I don't know why they haven't made a
I have no idea why Max has not made a version 3 hop-up yet.
Lacking.
Because Max,
calling them out.
Max is one of the better companies as far as CNC made hop-ups. They also have a ton of different niche ones, like the
like a Scar H.
They have a Scar H one, which nobody made forever.
Oh, it was like,
and now it's the number one thing I recommend people do to their Scar H is put a Max hop-up in it.
Right.
And Scorpion hop-up unit, I think, is one of the best Scorpion hop-up units made.
And they're out here making cylinders. Like, triggers.
It's great. Make a version 3 hop-up, Max, and make it TBC.
Maybe they're just like, I mean,
saturated.
Well, that and it's like, well, ours is going to cost twice the price of a Lonex, and it's like not worth it, which I understand. Op backyard, yeah, I agree for the speed or the 12 grams. Actually, a speed build 128 millimeter barrel ESG. I'm just trying to understand a little better, really. Reddit isn't as helpful as you think for the springs, the lightweight fusion engine springs.
Oh, got you.
I started looking into it because my fusion, compared to similar builds, feels and sounds like a GBB recoil with a high pitch ping in the cycle.
Yes, that is normal. Trying to remember the exact parts that kind of slap together and create that sound. I think it is the way the nozzle is designed, because if you look at the nozzle design for a fusion engine versus the nozzle design of like any other HPA engine, it's bulky on the back end because of how it was originally designed. Very bulky. There's a lot of material there, and that ping that you're hearing, I believe, is from the two surfaces of the inside wall of the cylinder area of the nozzle, and then the surface area of the nozzles slapping into each other is, I think, part of the reason you're hearing that ping. And just how the system operates, it kind of does create that little bit of a ping sound. It's a very unique sound to a fusion engine that they have. It's not anything, there's nothing wrong with it. It's just how they sound. There's nothing wrong. It's not because of the spring or anything like that. I get where your head's at with a GBB. Like if you have your ear up to a GBB M4, you can hear the twang of the spring in the buffer tube.
Right.
I can see where you're coming from with that, but it's not the same thing. It's not that spring causing that.
It also has a red poppet and nozzle in the lightning banjo.
I mean, that's a really good combo.
Yeah, the lightning banjos are kind of like a always.
Yeah, I would always do it in a lightning banjo because of the efficiency they give you.
Mm-hmm. The fusion engine is one of those things where it's like it's one of the last, not the last, but there's not many HP engines you can like upgrade.
Yeah,
and it
F2 fusion engine. I'm trying to think of like ones you upgrade that, and not changing the nozzle is not upgrading it. That's making it work for different ones.
So he says, it doesn't sound bad per se, but in comparison to an almost identical build, it's wildly different. Only reason to question it.
When you mean almost identical build, do you mean like barrel build and everything? Like you have a fusion engine versus some other engine?
He probably has
AG?
I'm going to take a guess, like a buddy has a gun that's almost the same. I'm going to guess.
It might be also lubrication around that nozzle area too. You might have less lubrication than your buddy does. Not a problem if it's running fine.
Yeah,
but if your buddy has a lot more lubrication in there, it's going to detonate a little bit.
You can also send us a video too, and like of your gun shooting with your settings and like your PSI.
Yeah.
And then we could get like a visual or an audible like representation of what the gun's doing, because more than likely it sounds fine.
Yeah.
But just for that peace of mind, it's always nice to like, yeah, you're good.
Yeah. Like, yeah, if you want to send it in to us, just sales@airsoft.com.
Yeah, and then if that is helpful in any way. Yeah, the only difference is the newest Monk ESG versus an old Eurotag script. Which, like, if it's regulating to the same pressure,
that should be fine.
It shouldn't matter.
Yeah.
At the end of the day.
I mean, like that. If that's the only difference, then that's again, that sound is actually quite normal for most fusion engines. It's not anything to be concerned with at all. So.
Yeah, HP would be wild like that.
Yeah. No.
Twang.
It is. It's very interesting.
What is the pressure on it? You want to hear it?
Yeah, actually.
There you go. It's like turning the radio up. There. The clunk goes away.
Yeah, I don't hear the misfire. There's no misfire.
Yeah, we're good. Man, no stress. Thanks, fellas. Massively helpful. That's why we're here. That's why Tom's the sporty pants on the live streams. Tom somehow knows things and passes that information along to you guys.
I'm just a hyper nerd.
Hyper nerd.
I'm a hyper nerd.
Yeah. Like, you need the phone holster.
No.
Please.
I'm not ever getting a phone holster.
All right, mark my words right now. Never in his life will he have a phone holster.
No.
The day you're like, hey, man, I can't put this in.
Man, let me say something. Phone holster. It's kind of awesome. No.
Phone. Yeah, man. Remember back in 2023?
The only like phone holster that I would ever use is one of those flip down ones on chest. Well, that's not a phone holster in my opinion. That's like literally I want to use ATAX while I'm playing.
Yeah, absolutely. Wes, what's your opinion on the KWA MP9? My opinion, very, very good gun. It's kind of the only MP9 option at the moment. But if y'all follow Scum Customs,
I was gonna say.
We're about to turn the only MP9 into an even better MP9. It's super cool. It does. We'll talk about the gas ballback version. Obviously, being its only variable besides the AA powered one on eBay, which doesn't count.
Those are awesome.
They are fun as hell. I had one chrono at AMS. It has the AMS sticker on it. Either way, shot 43 FPS. But my point being, the MP9 is awesome. It shoots really well. Obviously, it's a green gas only SMG, which sucks in my opinion. I wish it was CO2 because you get major cooldown problems with green gas on full auto. Very easy to tap, and they sell tap adapters. So if you wanted to do that, you could. But with Scum Customs F2 adapter, I think we're gonna see more MP9s on the field.
Yeah.
So super cool gun. MP9 is fantastic. Agreed. Scum Customs, all exclamation points. Yes, very excited. Definitely pre-ordering. Where should I send one for him? It's tactical and has Molly. For the... Huh? Oh, yeah. Where?
No.
I think a 2250 Noblestown Road, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
If you, I will shoot a
15205. And I'll take a picture and put it on the story of Tom wearing it.
I'm not wearing it.
Just for a picture.
I'm not wearing it.
If someone,
no. Because that picture is going to be used for other things a year from now.
Here. This is video recording. It is like chest to thigh, a picture. If someone is generous enough to send it in, the least I can do is do an Instagram story without your face. So if you're on the live and you saw it and you're here, you know. It's like, but everyone else is like, what?
Should I clip that?
I think it'd be funny. Come on, for the people.
If you send it in, I will look at it.
We'll put it on.
I will look at
He'll
it.
feel bad. He'll be like, "Wow, this guy really sent this in."
When have I felt bad about anything?
You feel bad all the time. You feel bad for me, just existing.
No, that's why I make fun of you.
What happened?
Oh no. Gelato. All right, so if you can still hear us, because I can see that the microphone's still working, we're still gonna.
We have 4 minutes on YouTube.
Yeah, we're gonna do some.
What'd you do, Logan? What happened?
Popped up real quick.
Oh, it's back. Is it overheating?
I think that's what it was.
Unplug
Okay.
the charger.
Unplug the HDMI.
No, not the Anyway, thoughts on the Elvish-Hack R-Hop patches?
Very good. If you buy the right one for the barrel and hop up that you're getting it for, don't buy something that you don't have and think it might work.
Do one of these behind it.
Barrel.
Cool the camera down.
But no, the Elvish Stack ones work great. We use them in all of our R-Hop builds.
What are some good full auto sidearms?
Block 18.
Yeah. MP9.
MP9.
Scorpion.
Scorpion.
The KWA one, the little one.
Yeah, the little one.
It's back.
MP5K. MP5K is a good one.
Yeah, that's a good one.
If you can fit it. If you have the right setup for it as a sidearm.
What was that goofy ass straight mag? It was like a GAT.
Oh, it was the GAT.
The GAT.
The Echo 1 GAT.
Yeah, the GAT was goofy.
What else?
Full auto. An MG4.
Yeah, definitely.
Hold
an
the
MG.
stock.
You know what? Actually, the Micro Stoner.
Oh yeah, that little.
Yeah.
I'll get Dylan to trap him with it. Okay. Just bring in the holster. We'll be good. What phone do you have? What is this?
It's a phone.
Android.
It's an Android
What phone is it though?
Android phone.
A Samsung what?
It's an Android phone.
No, it's a Samsung.
It's an Android Samsung.
Powered by
phone.
Android.
I know it is, but you need to. What's the model?
It's a
I'm
phone.
just gonna take
It's
this back
off and look.
Yeah, the crusty ass case on here. Don't even say.
Yeah.
Man, you got that like
Oh, dude, it's bad.
that $39.99 sign up phone.
It's like an A4.
Yeah, it's like it doesn't have a name.
It is an Android phone.
Android phone. It works. I love you, Tom. P90. Yeah, thank you, Moose. That's also another sidearm. It's no bigger than a
big.
It's not that big.
You said it on me.
No, the P90, the size actually works in the P90's favor because it doesn't have anything that it snags on.
Yeah, that's true.
It's very smooth
Yeah,
rifle.
that's true.
Or submachine. But we're down to a minute, so join us every week. I know this is an abrupt ending, but
Yeah.
live stream every Wednesday, 1 o'clock. You can come here, ask your questions, and get pretty legitimate answers, I think.
I feel like we could give fairly
And-
decent ones.
Join us next week for Tom and his phone holster on the live, and it'll be a good time. So come hang out next week, 1 o'clock. Thanks, guys, for stopping by, and we'll see you next time.